It's a new ink day, and with me today I have Kiwi Inks Tricolori or Tricolori, however you pronounce it, I'm not too sure. The art on the box is pretty nice, honestly. I wonder who made it. Simple, but it's cute. I think this ink was only $25 to $30 over at kiwiinks.com. The link's at the back of the box right there. I really like the packaging for this ink. I think it's got a lot of charm to it. And if you look at the label on the front of the bottle, they actually have a swatch of the ink. I think it's a great thing that they do that not a lot of other ink companies do. They also use the ink to write the name on the top of the bottle. All Kiwi inks are actually made to order, so they're all from a fresh batch. This does, of course, mean that there is a much longer fulfillment time for Kiwi inks. I put my order in for this ink on the 22nd of October. I actually got this for my birthday, which was on the 25th, but I just barely got it on the 19th of November. I'm not disappointed, though. It's a very beautiful ink, and it's honestly worth the wait time, I'd say. This is their teal color. You're able to choose between, I can't remember exactly, but I think it's ultramarine, teal, green, and then some fourth color that I can't really recall. Aside from the base ink color, you can also choose between red sheen, gold sheen, or green sheen, which looks quite peculiar. And if that wasn't enough for you, you could also choose the type of shimmer you want in there. I can't remember all the colors, but some are pink, silver, gold, blue. I think there was green in there. And I chose rainbow. Even though you can't really see the rainbow shimmer, it's very subtle. It's a nice little addition. And if even that wasn't enough to convince you, they let you choose how wet or dry your ink is. I myself went with semi-wet, but there's a decent variety when it comes to their inks. Not just their tricolory line, but all their inks are customizable. Here I have a Narwhal Original in double broad to really show you how this looks in writing. I wish I had a glass dip pen to show you guys with that, but this will have to do for now. It really is a wonderful little ink. It writes very smooth. As for how wet it writes, I'd say it is fairly wet. Not too much, not too little, but a nice balance. A good comparison I'd give is probably Monteverde Blue Skies, a fairly wet ink that I've been using quite a bit. I really like the sheen on this. You can see it a little bit more on the ink swatch up in the top right. It's a nice, deep, almost purplish red that reflects pretty well in light, and the ink itself is a fairly dark overall. At times it can come off pretty light, but it is a fairly dark ink. It very much resembles Diamine Season's Greetings or Colorverse Blue Dragon. Apart from the shimmer, of course, which is kind of hard to see on camera. I mean, it's fairly hard to see in person to begin with, but I like it that way. I don't want a shimmer that really overpowers the color of the ink itself, especially when you have a ink as beautiful as this. This ink does take quite a while to dry. I tested it on Tomoe River paper, which is what you see here, and Rhodia paper that I use for most of my art. Oddly enough, it took 55 seconds to dry on the Tomoe River paper, and 1 minute 15 seconds to fully dry on the Rhodia paper. Keep in mind, this is with a double broad, so it'll take a little longer just because it's a thick line, but even with a finer line, it takes a little bit to dry. I wouldn't say this is a deal breaker, however. It wasn't really that big of an issue, though. I didn't have any difficulties with how long it takes to dry when I was drawing this little thingamabob right here. Once it's fully dry, it doesn't smudge around a whole lot. Of course, it is a shimmering ink, so you'll have little shimmer particles spread about if you mess with the paper too much, but it's not too bad. This ink does pretty well when it comes to layering it for hatching, cross hatching. Some inks do better than others with this, and I mean, being an artist, I value that a lot. There wasn't a whole lot of feathering going on with this ink. I tested it on Tomoe River, Rhodia, and Clairefontaine paper, and I didn't notice anything. Of course, if you use this on printer paper, it's not going to do too well, as many other inks don't do too well on that paper. All in all, I'd say this is a wonderful little ink with great customizability for an affordable price. Well, anyways, I hope you all remember to have a wonderful day.